Seaters podcast. I'm joined by our recent guest, Jason Bent.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Sedge cannot be with us today. He's got work stuff going on. He's in Oregon. Or Washington.
He's on the trail.
The Oregon Trail.
Yep.
You don't think he got dysentery, did he?
He probably did.
No, I saw some, I don't know if it was a story or post. He was with Hibbs up in his shop, I believe.
Yeah. I think they were doing a festival shop talk, I think.
Oh, okay.
Live
Podcast.
in his shop. Yeah.
Okay. It's the second time he's had him on that.
That's what happens when you're a big shot. You know, you get festival coming to you, right?
Well, hey, look, before we get into this episode, ladies and gentlemen, the June giveaway was a massive success.
How many people did we have enter?
It was over 175.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people interested in that festival party pack. But this month, the month of July, the month of my birth, we've got another giveaway.
The year of our Lord.
Jason, what's the July giveaway?
Leather by Dragonfly. They've been killing it on these giveaways with the Green Suiters podcast. It's probably
the
third one in a row. It's probably Michelle. Knowing Patrick, he's probably like, I don't want to do anything for those guys. All they do is make fun of me.
I don't want to do anything for those chums.
That since Michelle is a wonderful, nice lady who
she is
clearly has a soft spot for weird men. They've decided to do another giveaway, third month in a row. And as far as I know, this is going to continue on for quite some time. So huge thank you to Leather by Dragonfly. But
in perpetuity.
Yes, forever. Sandlot reference. You get that?
Mm-hmm. I did.
Okay. They're giving away another Sedgley.
Which is awesome.
I cannot clear my throat. This is ridiculous.
Oh, I know why, but
must be the Rona.
We can't say that on the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, we can. Yeah, they're giving away another Sedgley. It was a massive success last time. So they're going to give away another one in the month of July. And to enter, that's to all 50 states. And to enter, you just got to go to greensuiterspodcast.com and enter for your chance to win.
It's going to be a Freedom Sedgley. It's going to be in red, white, and blue leather.
Yes. Yep. Oh, don't say that. Patrick right now is probably going, no, it's not. We don't do custom Sedgley.
It's going to be red and gold from the Marines.
Yeah. Hoorah. Go
Navy. That's awesome. That's awesome. Another lucky winner gets a Sedgley. So if you're listening to this,
about the next giveaway, we actually don't know the winner of last month's giveaway just yet.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to find out.
As we're recording this, it's in June, but
yeah.
But if you want to enter the chance to win a Sedgley, go to www.greensuiterspodcast.com. The giveaway tab's the first tab that comes up. Enter in your information, and you're good to go.
Boom. All right. So let's get into it. We'll just prep everybody now. We don't have any specific topic, but I think we have a couple of interesting things that we're going to discuss. So just deal with it, people. I'm back, and that's all that matters. I listened to Sedge and Ben, and I almost fell asleep while I was driving. We were having a conversation about a recent YouTube video that I had posted, and how which video was it? The last one. It was the wall.
The garage door cover.
Yeah, so the video started off like relatively okay. I mean, it was, top 3 or 4 of my last 10 or whatever. And then I think it was the second day, it just spiked and immediately jumped up. And I noticed it instantaneously. And then it kind of started to level out. And then it did a quick spike one day, a couple days later. And then it just died, like completely. It went from getting, anywhere from 500 to 1,000 views per hour to like 11. It was such a I've never seen that before. It was so drastic, but we just got talking about, how sometimes weird things like that happen. I've never seen that happen before. Like I've had videos that like started off slow and then spiked and then kind of stayed on an upward trend.
Yeah.
I've never had one that
plummet.
Yeah. I've never had one that like skyrocketed. The click-through rate is really high. It's way higher than my average click-through rate. the average view duration is really low. So that means that people liked the thumbnail, but hated the content in the first 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And I tried watching it to see like the dips and figure out what it was. And I don't know. The feedback on the video has been excellent, but it's just weird. But Ben had pointed out that it says that the majority of my views came from external sources. We were kind of having a conversation about that. And then I said, let's talk about this on the podcast. But what were you saying, Ben, before about with the external stuff? Now we don't remember.
It's just really weird that it's saying that it's coming from an external source, because so Jason had sent me a screenshot of the analytics from that video, and over 7,000 of the views said like from an external source. And so it makes me wonder if someone is reposting the content, or if like it's just really weird that that many came from an external source. And you look at because typically it'll come from what's it called, not discovery, because you have like browse, search, and then recommended. That's what it is. And maybe they renamed that from recommended to external.
I don't think so, because
again, it's just really weird that many views came from something that was external. Yeah, I just found it to be really weird.
I wish that we could see that. Like, I can see where the majority of the traffic is coming from. It might be, Google search or whatever, but I just wonder if somebody like took that video, posted it on another site.
And that's what I'm wondering. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's very bizarre.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of all that boringness. We'll see how this new video does. I never expect any of my shop series videos to do like super good, just because it's not, it's hard to like put it out there in a way that would appeal to a large audience, unless you're purposely trying to make it some sort of clickbait or something that it's not, right? So I think the people that are watching these videos are the people that are going to gain the most out of them. And that's what I really care about.
Which video was it? Was it the every garage woodworker needs to see this?
Yes.
I think that's probably why. I think you need to change the title, because there are some garage woodworkers that live maybe in the South that don't need garage door insulation.
But that's absolutely not true. If you live in the South, you still need garage door insulation. It's heat. No. Problem. It's
people. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that this is wrong. What I'm saying is that people they don't know what they need, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they click on a video that says every garage woodworker, well, that is a lot of people. Not everybody has that problem. And so what I'm saying is that the title, I think if you did you try the A/B test to the thumbnail?
This one, no, because it started off so good. And the reason why I'm going to say that I don't think that's a good idea is because the data tells me that the title and thumbnail is appealing, the content is not.
Yeah, but so, and this is what I think is going on, is that because of the title, it's a very broad title, right? It's not a very specific title, which could be a good or a bad thing. I mean, obviously, with the amount of impressions that you got, it's good. But when people click on it and then they see what the delivery is, I think that's why they're leaving, and I think that's why that it just plummeted. I mean, you do have a lot of views.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why it's this weird predicament, right? So if I had a CTR, a click-through rate of like 2.6, 100%, I'd be all about changing the title, and I'd be all about changing the thumbnail, because what that tells me is that people are seeing the video and they're not clicking on it.
Mm-hmm.
This video, clearly, it's the highest click-through rate video that I've done in, I can't even remember how long. And it's still 2 weeks later is still at almost 7%. That's really, really high
Yeah.
for me and my channel for
But
anything
again,
I've released.
I think it's because of the title of the video, and it's crashing, and so therefore YouTube is not serving it up to anyone because no one is watching it. Like they're going there because of the title, right?
Yeah.
You've hooked them very well, but um,
So
either the
how would
thumb
changing the title get people to
it's
click on the video?
that so okay, so by changing the title of the video, okay, what that's going to do is that's going to reduce the impressions that you get, yes, but that will improve your watch through because now people are clicking on the video knowing what they're going to get. And because okay, all of these social media platforms, every single one of them, their primary goal, it's not views, it's not likes, it's not comments, it's none of that. They want people to stay on the platform.
Of course.
That's what they want, right? Because they are, people talk about the algorithm and all this. It's not, yes, there is some coding that runs all this, but they are hacking human behavior. So you want to have people watch this video entirely through or to try to get
100%.
as much watch through rate as you can. That should be your goal, not to get as many people here as possible. Because if YouTube sees that, okay, people are clicking on this video and they're watching it through, X number of percent are watching it through, then they're going to continue to serve it up to other people. But if they've, shown this to a lot of people, they've clicked on it, but no one's watching it, well, then they're not going to serve your video anymore because it's not keeping people on the platform.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think I'm looking at it from the perspective of I can't change the content and how people, if it's not engaging. The beginning of the video is not engaging. And then when people realize that it's not what they thought it was, they're exiting out. And by changing the title to something more specific, it's going to keep the people that know what it is in there longer.
Yeah, you're targeting the people that want to get that information. You're being a little bit more specific with your title, which is going to get you the person that you want that is going to watch that video through. You're changing the quality of the person that's finding the video so that they watch it all the way through.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to have less people and then they're still going to watch it because the content sucks.
Well, but if
you're making sense though now, because I see what you're saying. People are like, even though it is, well, I guess you can't really tell that it's
there's a saying in marketing of if you target everyone, you're targeting no one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the title, as I'm seeing it, and I haven't watched the entire video.
How dare you?
The title, it's too broad. You're casting too wide of a net, and you're getting those impressions, but you're not getting any fish. So you need to be a little bit more specific.
All right. Well, let's change the title right now, live on the podcast. What is it?
So this is about installing a DIY insulation for the garage door.
Nope. It's walling in the garage door. Maybe I should just title it, I built a wall in front of my garage door.
No, don't say that.
Then people be like, wait, what? Why would you do that? That's crazy. You're an idiot.
I don't want to do this on the podcast because I would have to.
No, I want to do it. We can always come back and change it again later. Come on. This is improv, Ben. This is improv.
Okay, so
don't try to gather too much data. Just go off what you were telling me. Like which
No, I know. I'm trying to think of something that would make me curious enough to watch this.
I almost had sex with Carrie Underwood. I'd watch that.
No.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
You could say like I stopped and then again, I'm spitballing. This is not a good one.
Well, that's okay. This is how we come up with ideas. I like this.
I would say I saved $500 or let me see. How much does it cost to run your Mr. Cool?
I don't know. I actually just talked about that in my latest video.
The title could be garage insulation. I saved a whole lot of money.
It's not about garage insulation. That's not what the video is about. The video is about building a wall in front of my garage door.
Which is garage door insulation.
I mean, I put insulation back there, but that was not the reason for it.
What was the reason for
The
sound
video
dampening?
the video I released the week before that was garage door insulation.
Okay. Oh, yes. Because you put the panels up. That's right.
Yeah.
The DIY kit. So this is for sound dampening, right?
It is, and it's because I wanted a wall and not the garage door. I wanted more usable space. It just has positive side effects.
Yeah. In the video, does it show you putting up drywall?
I didn't use drywall. I used MDF.
But you're putting something there, right? Mm-hmm. So you could say, I doubled my wall space in my garage. And by the thumbnail saying do this instead, it's like, oh, well, how did he do that? That gets me curious about what you did. So that's going to cause me to click on the video. So the value, okay, what is the ultimate value? I like
where we're going with this. How many square feet is that?
What is the ultimate value that someone is going to get from watching this video? Like what's in it for me by watching that video?
What if we did, man, we should just have our podcast talking about tactics for me to get more views.
For me to get more
this is great, because these are the kind of conversations that we used to always have where I'm like, this would be really good.
But again, I'm Joe Schmo, right? What's in it for me to watch this video?
Ben, what is 7 times 16?
Damn it, Jason, answer the question. What's in it for me to watch this video?
You get to see my wonderful face.
Oh my God. You're such a piece of garbage.
What's in it for you is you're going to learn how to get more wall space. Okay.
So, that would be the title. I got more wall space in my garage.
What's 7 times 16, Ben? Get your calculator out. I'm on the screen to change my title right now.
112. But see, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. How much you saved, that's irrelevant.
No, I could say I added 112 square feet of wall space to my garage.
What if I don't need 112? What if I only need 20? Then I'm not going to click on your video. See, that the amount is irrelevant.
Okay,
but if you said I doubled my wall space in the garage, or I 2x'd
because I didn't double it.
I 2x'd. Well, no one's going to know. Like that again, that information is irrelevant, but that's going to hook me to watch.
What if it was how I doubled the wall space in my garage?
No, because it's not a searchable term.
Okay.
Just say I doubled space in my garage, or I doubled wall space in my garage.
I doubled wall space in my garage. Ben Marshall. Okay.
Yeah.
Save. I doubled wall space in my garage. Wow, that looks really interesting. Let me click on it.
And then they're going to see the thumbnail, and it's going to be like, oh, well, what did he do? And since they click on the videos, it's like, who's this ugly guy? I was looking for Hans.
Yeah, and they got the hatreds.
I got a new Hans. A new Hans comment this week.
Nice. I do have some. I will have some couple decent negative comments tonight. Anyways, all right, that was cool. We just worked it out. So that was an interesting rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
What have you been up to, Ben?
Oh, well, I'm at Jennifer's right now.
Shocking.
I know. I had to get some additional footage for my next motorcycle video. So there's a hotel here that I needed to go shoot some footage in. It doesn't make sense now, but when you watch the next video, it'll make sense. I'm walking down a hallway.
That's assuming I'm going to watch the video.
In a hotel. I know you really want to watch it. But I've been editing all day long. Yesterday, I rode my motorcycle here, obviously, and I haven't been really doing a whole lot. I got we're our entire summer's like pretty much strapped for going places and doing things and wedding stuff and looking at well, we've already looked at the venues, but like um, coordinating all the different supportive, DJs and lighting and all that. So just wedding stuff. Doing a lot of that. We went to her parents' beach condo last weekend, so that was a lot of fun. It was a little bit chilly, but it was fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. What have you been up to?
Buckle in, everybody. No, not much. I've been doing my training the new guy for my job. Hard to believe that it's like so close to me not having to go to work every day anymore. Of course, I'll have a new child screaming and crying and pooping and vomiting everywhere, and Leo. But my shop is pretty much done now. I mean, if I wanted to, I could build a project. I still have some clutter laying around that I got to put away. But I got all my ductwork installed. That was super easy. That stuff is unbelievably awesome. Speaking of ductwork, when this comes out, as a matter of fact, I will be at Patrick's helping him install his ductwork. So I saw he posted a picture about it today. He has a ton of fittings, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, I actually ended up using just about everything this time because I went a little bit more complex. But I don't have a bunch of extra stuff laying around anymore, which is fantastic.
What dust collector did he get?
He has the same dust collector I do.
Oh, okay.
But he got the same ductwork. And he got it through that buddy of mine, Jay, which, speaking of that, if anybody listening to this is looking, I've given his number out to, I can't even count at this point how many people. If you're thinking about getting this stuff, like, reach out to him, because he is the guy for people like us. And if you want his info, send me a DM, send me an email, whatever, and I'll give it to you. But he just helped Patrick. Like I said, I gave his number to a bunch of other people, and so now he's starting to get pretty busy.
So just for clarification, Jason's referring to NordFab, which they sell ductwork. Typically they do like a lot of industrial jobs, but Jay does residential or commercial, I guess, if you want to call it that, like individual sales or setups.
Yes. And NordFab doesn't have anybody that specializes in that specifically except him now. And that's all a new thing. Like they told him, like, yes, you can be the guy. Matter of fact, NordFab is sending him clients now who are calling them directly. And it's like me calling them. They're like, here's the guy you need to talk to.
Yeah.
So he's not, specializing in 10 to $300,000 jobs. He's like, the 5,000, 6,000, 3,000. This stuff's expensive, but Patrick found that out. But it's going to be fun. I'm really excited about installing it over there. It's so easy.
So what has Patrick been using up to this point? Just like the little,
just moving the hose from the machine.
Yeah.
Yep. And now we won't have to do that. I got to admit, like, I feel like the suction is even stronger now than it was before.
Do you have less turns in it?
No, I have way more.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm probably, it's silly for me to say that, because last time I used an anemometer, and the anemometer that I have, the last time I used it on the machine at my previous shop, it broke one of the fins. Yeah. So, and none of them go high enough to calculate the true CFM, which tells me that, this is pulling over 700 CFM. The big difference that I did, everything is the same down to the three major tools. To the CNC machine, it doesn't matter how many turns that I have. I don't need a lot of suction at the CNC, but the suction is extremely powerful at the CNC. I'll give you a reason why I think the suction is stronger. But This time I went 90 out of the machine. I didn't do the 45, which, you know, you'd
Should
think
reduce. Yeah.
you would think that I think we were talking about this on the Beers of the Boys, weren't we?
I
Like
think so.
the common beliefs and the common things that people say and think about ductwork and dust collection, I found out to be not the majority of those to be completely false. And not only are they in a lot of cases false, but it completely depends on the machine and the specs of your machine, right? So you can't just say like, if I can get the biggest pipe and I'm going to have the best success all the way to the tool. There's way more that goes into it than that. And one of them is the ductwork that you have, how much flexos you have, what turns you have, how much static pressure your machine has. So again, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I am not an expert on it, but it was just totally eye-opening. So this time it comes out, goes 90 degrees up, turns, goes 90 degrees down the wall, and then it turns again 90 degrees. The difference here is that the 90-degree turn that leads to the pipes that go to my 3 tools, that 90 is 6-inch. As opposed to the one that it was before, which was a 4-inch. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but the reason why I think the suction might be stronger this time is because, like, when I go to cover up one of the ports, the little ball joint, because I have the ball joint that's above my CNC machine.
Yeah.
When I block one of those vents, that thing will start like, I did stories about it. It was like sucking it up into the machine, like cracking,
Really?
like, yeah. And that never did that on the other one. So
how many joints does it have, or how many splits, I guess? Because in your last one, you had what, 4 splits?
What do you mean by splits?
So like you don't have, it's not just one, it doesn't go from the Harvey to just one outlet, I guess, or inlet, I guess.
I see what you're saying. Like, how many branches does
yeah,
it take?
yeah.
It only has 2. It has the one that goes down to the tools, and then it has the one that goes to the CNC.
And you still have the same, it's like a 3-way
I have the same. Yeah. You know how I always have the 3-way here. Ben's Woodworking Shop. Yeah, I have the 3-way blast gate thing. So that goes to my bandsaw, my table saw, and my joiner planer combo. And so the other thing too, well,
did you have you added or removed any additional duct work?
I added ductwork because I used almost everything this time. Last time I had 3 6-inch, full 6-inch pipes left. And I want to say 3 of the 4-inch pipes. Maybe it was even 4 of the 4-inch pipes. The reason why I used more is because instead of just going down to the corner, I actually had to cut across my shop to the back corner. So that's why I used a lot more 4-inch pipe. And then obviously because I went 90 out of the machine instead of a 45.
I know how you like that 4-inch pipe. That's all you can really.
I love it.
You wish you had 6, but
yeah, I have a lot more 4 than I do 6 these days. So the pipe goes up, so that's added length, and then it goes over, so that's added length, as opposed to the 45. The 45 took less pipe. But so now all I have left over is 1 full 4-inch, 1 full 6-inch, and then I have an offcut of 6, an offcut of 4, and then I have a couple of 45 or 30 degree, I believe they are, 6-inch fittings, and then I have like a bunch of extra clamps and stuff like that. So that stuff's all coming with me to Patrick's, because the stuff that he ordered, the math that they did, that Jay did, Jay actually has a program that he'll use that will figure out where you can use your offcuts in the system to save you money. But Patrick basically was like, hey, I want, what I need. So he can't mess up, right? Because if he does, then he could be short 1 pipe. Everything would be good, but it might be like 1 pipe short or something like that. So that's why I'm going to take this stuff. But it's really hard to screw up. I mean, it's so so easy. So easy. And like the one thing that everybody gets the most concerned about is cutting the pipe, but it could not be easier because the NordFab pipe comes with, you can buy these pieces that are just slightly large enough to, if you cut the flange off another pipe, you could slide that pipe into it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a sleeve.
Because it has a male in and a female in, right?
No.
No?
No. It's just ever so slightly bigger but when you cut off the flange on the pipe that is going to slide in there, you now don't have that flange, so it can just slide into the pipe and it's a perfect fit.
Mm-hmm.
But you could use those sleeves as a regular piece if you needed to. I did that in my last shop, which is why I had so many pieces left over. Whole nother story. But basically that pipe, I want to say, is either 10 inches long or 12 inches long. So what you do is, let's say that I need to span the pipes themselves, I think are 5 feet. Let's say I only needed a 3 foot length, right? The next point that I'm going to do my turn is 3 feet away. So, 36 inches. Okay. So what I would do is I would take that pipe. Let's just say the pipe is 10 inches. I'm pretty sure it's 10. So that means that 10 inches, the 36-inch length that I need, subtract that 10 inches. So if I cut a 26-inch pipe, it would be right at the end of that. So what you end up doing is whatever that final length is, so the 26 inches, right? Because we subtracted the 10 for the sleeve, add 5 to that. And what that does is that puts that cutoff right in the middle of that sleeve, and it gives you 5 inches of wiggle room both ways. Does that make sense?
No, because I totally just blacked out on what you were saying, but I believe you.
Okay. Great host. Clearly he will never be putting ductwork in his shop.
No. I'm really not good at hearing words and measurements without seeing it. I just can't do it.
You want me to draw it for you?
It's okay. We'll move on.
The circle goes in the hole.
Oh.
Like this.
Well, that totally makes sense then.
So here's the end.
Yeah.
Of the slip-on pipe.
So what you're saying is, what you took all that to say is that you can cut NordFab piping and you don't have to worry about it not fitting because the way that it was designed. That's what you're trying to say.
I'm sorry, watchers.
It's about
I'm sticking my finger in a hole in my other fingers. looks very sexual.
That came out so bad.
Sticking my fingers in a hole that are my other fingers. Anyways,
well,
everybody else knows what I'm talking about because they're smart, or they've probably watched my amazing video about it.
So Jason and I were talking before we started recording how we're both in the middle of researching how to build some decking. And do you know what surface material you're going to use for the deck? Are you going to go with what's it called? It's like a it's like a composite material. What's it called?
Composite decking.
No, there's like a certain brand, but yes.
Trex.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, Trex is one of the mini brands. So I don't know yet. That was 100% the plan, 100%. The problem is that we didn't plan on doing this until like next spring, but I was walking on my deck the other day and one of the boards is rotted. My foot almost went through it.
Yeah.
And then I stepped 2 boards over and that one is about ready to break. So what I'm going to end up doing is replacing those, but I've been doing tons of research and I don't know, it seems really straightforward, but then I'm seeing conflicted things with like, okay, so if you use Trex or some kind of composite deck material.
Are you rebuilding everything or just
yes?
Okay.
Because if the deck has been there, I guarantee you it's pressure treated lumber. Let's say the deck has been there for 15 years. The tall area, right when you walk out my back door, like when you walk on it, it kind of bows and my grills shake. That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
So this is the argument to using composite decking. If you use composite decking, Doesn't it make sense to use composite material for everything
Yeah.
underneath it?
Yeah. That way everything deteriorates at the same rate.
Right. And so a lot of people are saying it's counterproductive actually to build the base using pressure treated lumber just to put something on that, because once that stuff underneath, the boards on top are going to be fine. But once that stuff underneath goes to crap, it still has to all be ripped out and replaced.
Yeah, but
Now that
doesn't
could be
it?
15 years, it could be 20 years.
But wouldn't that the stuff underneath the framing, wouldn't that deteriorate at a slower rate than everything on top because they're less exposed to the extremes?
It
Like
could, sure. Yeah, I would think
like
so.
like when I removed my deck, obviously the top boards were just, same as yours. They were cracking and splitting and rotting and all this other stuff. But the the mounting points, the anchor points, and everything, the framing, yeah, it was pressure treated lumber, but it was all fine. Like none of it was dry
Yeah,
rot. None
well,
of it.
it also depends on how it was installed too, because that's one thing that like I'm worried about. Um,
No, I'm still going to replace mine because, just as you said, like when whoever did it just it was all half ass. It was not done very well.
and that's how I'm thinking that like mine is now, that
Yeah.
it clearly has been neglected for a long time, but we knew we wanted to rebuild it because we want it'll actually be 2 levels now, but you didn't get to see it when you were here, but like you walk out there and you like take all these weird steps. It's just it's like a maze. It's very strange.
Hmm.
But basically what we want to do now is potentially when you walk out, that level is still level with the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a 1 step down to the next level. And that whole thing is open. And then we want to remove like the railings and the, gardening wall thingy that they have, that like trees can grow up, whatever the heck that's called. We want to remove all that and replace that with different railing and all that. But basically, when you walk out, instead of there being railing on the left-hand side, there would just be 1 step all the way across. So you're on the higher part or you're on the lower part.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I went and removed all those boards and found that the base structure and the posts and everything were set well and they're all in really good shape, then yeah, maybe I don't need to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that could save a lot of money.
And because I have a friend that lives in North Carolina, and he builds decks for a living. Like that's literally all that he does. And the research that I said, like there's so many, you've got to use spacers in between everything. So, nothing can be touching the ground directly. It has to be separated.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like anchored directly into concrete, I think it's okay. But
yeah, but even then, it's still not touching the ground; it's touching the concrete.
Yeah. And then there has to be gaps or spaces between the joists and whatever the surface is, like whatever kind of planking you're using for the horizontal pieces of the decking. Right? Is that what you're finding too? Is that it can't be wood to wood? It has to be
no,
spaced.
not at all.
Really,
not at
because
all.
the deck that I ripped up was spaced. Like you couldn't have the part you're walking on could not be touching the joist. There had to be a little bit of a gap so that way moisture wouldn't get trapped in between.
What did they use for a gap?
The one on mine, it was like these really weird looking little U clips. I mean, that's all I can really describe it. But it was about it was like a 3 millimeter spacer, and they had those lined all the way down the joists, and that was to keep the horizontal part of the deck, the part that you actually walk on, kept it off of the joist. So it was still screwed in, but there was just like this little bitty gap in between. I'm guessing that's so that air could circulate between the joists and the horizontal pieces of the deck.
I have not seen that one time in anything that I've looked at.
No?
Weird. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's like an East Coast building code thing or something. I still have to look more into it.
Well, that brings up the other point of code and everything. Like I have to get a permit to do all, like, the more I dig into this, more I'm just looking at Nicole and I'm like,
just want to hire someone else to do it. Yeah.
I will rip everything out on my own. I will prep everything,
Yeah.
rip everything out. Let's hire a company to come in here and just do this stuff so we can enjoy it this year and then worry about it. Because I honestly am a little worried about like a lot of snow getting on it. I'm starting to think the people that lived here before just didn't use it very much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a concern. Like if Leo goes out there right now and steps on that spot, his foot's going through it.
Yeah.
Like this weekend, I'm buying the boards. I have something over it now, but I'm buying the boards so I can replace the boards that need to be replaced. I'm not painting them. I'm not doing anything. I'm just leaving them there until it's time to change it out. But, that's going to cost me what, $20, for a couple of deck boards. But
you can just put some OSB on it, right? It'll be fine. That's good.
Yeah, it'll be totally fine. Yeah. It's really, really strong stuff. Yeah, I don't know, because it's just, I'm going to end up having to do the majority of them on my own. But then there's a part of me, this was actually another topic that I thought about talking about, is like dragging your feet on projects because of how much work it's going to be and just hiring it out. Like I'm really bad about that. Well, the drywall, like I'm not a like take a long time to get things done. I want this done now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to budget your time, just how you have to budget your money. And if there's something else that needs your direct attention, then I mean, obviously it's fine to kind of sub that out or delegate it out.
The more I do the research though, the more I see like, I get the gist of it, right? I'm going to build my square, with my, furring strips and my lines and get everything a perfect square, and then use that to reference. I'm going to dig my footers out. I'm going to pour my footers, and then I get all of that. But I'm thinking about it. I'm like, it would take me a day just to get the square and get the holes cut or holes dug to put all my posts, footers. And then it's like, and then maybe the next day I'm ready to possibly start doing the frame stuff. And then it's like, okay, now I got to go to work. So I'm like, the biggest issue for me is that we still need to use our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
So if I rip the deck out, I have to build like a set of temporary stairs, to get in and out for my dogs and everything else. And
oh yeah.
And so that's where, like, Leo wanting to go outside and play, it becomes an issue. But at the same time, like, there's a part of me that's like, I think this would be kind of fun.
I think that would make really great content too.
I agree. And so we had talked, I think we had mentioned this to you. We were talking about like me, Sedge, Eric, and Ronnie, like doing a project. We were talking about doing my deck, but it's like, then I'm like having to pull other people away and coordinate a time. And
I wonder if you could, because it's like, I think it would almost like how you could, like if you hang your own sheetrock, but you pay someone else to mud it. I wonder if you could do the same thing where like you have someone else kind of do the base work. And then when it comes to putting down the horizontal pieces, you do that yourself. You could probably manage that in a day or two. I wonder if, and you're saving money, but again, I don't know if someone would do a half a job. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure they would. The problem is though, is that one, they'll probably try to gouge you on the price because it's a smaller job. Two, you won't be the priority. And if you do find companies that are, chomping at the bit, that probably means they're not real busy, and there might be a reason why. I have a very hard time. I have a very hard time with hiring contractors unless you're just hiring like the most well-known person in the area.
Yeah.
I've had very bad experiences. And then if they do a screwed up job and you have one of these horror stories, then all you're going to be doing is kicking yourself because you should have just done it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a struggle, man. It's a struggle.
I don't know. It just, that has become our priority, not anything else. Because once wintertime hits, I told Nicole, I said, I think this needs to be our priority, because if we want to get it done now, we have to get it done before the winter. And during the winter, I can do stuff for the house because I don't need to go outside.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It's a good point.
The problem is like until August, when I won't be home every day, all day. and
Yeah.
August is like the hottest month of the year. I don't know. There's a lot. I have been doing a ton of research though, like you, and it's amazing what you'll find. For the most part, I found pretty much the same info on uh, all the different sites, except for different ways to build the base.
Yeah.
But going back to your original
Well,
question about the what's it called, the composite versus wood.
dude, that stuff gets so freaking hot during the summer. Like when it's in direct, like I don't know that, like that's like
We
the
would definitely go with a lighter color. That would help.
well, yeah, but still, because I don't think that it doesn't it doesn't regulate temperatures as much because it's much more dense than
Mm-hmm.
regular wood, and so once it takes longer to heat it up, and once it's hot, it stays hot. Um, and I've had there's a playground in my town that all of it's made with composite, and during the summer you can't even bring your kids there because of how hot it gets. Um,
Huh.
and so I mean, but obviously, you're paying for durability, or you're getting durability
And
out of it.
low
Low
maintenance.
maintenance, yeah. But I mean, like that composite, it is a little bit of a darker color, so I wonder if it was lighter, how much better it would be. I just know that it is freaking hot during the summer. So and my deck is constantly in direct sunlight. There is no shade back there.
I was dead set on the composite after talking a lot about it with Ronnie Fulton, and there's a lot of really great advantages. The biggest advantage is the low maintenance because I'm lazy when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, I'll be honest. Um, I don't like the idea of every 2 years going out there and having to like sand the deck and restain it or reseal
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that idea.
Sounds terrible.
But if it's one big flat surface and I get like a large sander or something like that, like a stand up,
Yeah.
then maybe it wouldn't be so bad, right?
But now but that you can only do that for so long before you'd have to replace everything if you're sanding it every single 2 years or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's a lot cheaper though. Holy cow. I was looking the other day, 2 days ago, I was starting to like compare costs and stuff like that. And for a pressure treated uh, deck board, 12-foot long deck board, which is 5/4, 6 inches wide, pretty standard. It's like $8, right?
For the whole board?
Yeah.
Dang.
For I want to say it's the length I was looking at for the composite. It may have been a 16-foot board, but it was like $40 a board. So it's like 4 times the cost. Now, don't get me wrong. If I was going to do this whole project, you better believe I'm going to be reaching out to one of those companies to see if they would provide the materials, which sure, then it would be great. But the minute you do that, now you're under their time and you have obligations.
Yeah.
And so like, that's where the fact that I don't have a lot of the time right now makes sponsor stuff really iffy.
I mean, I would still try it.
Unless they go into it understanding.
Yeah. Now, how often do you think, like, would there be a cost benefit to getting composite, like a long-term cost benefit to composite? Because I mean, if you're having to rent a machine to sand it every other year, you also having to reseal it. That's going to cost money. So, like, I'm sure that like, how long does composite last? I guess is the better question. Is it
all the research I've been doing? It's 20 years plus 20 plus years, no problem. Like some of them are warranted that long or something ridiculous. Fade resistance, the higher priced ones, because that's another thing.
Yeah,
you can get the
UV,
cheap stuff,
but it's
or you
not
can get
UV.
the expensive stuff.
Yeah, because it's not UV rated.
The thing that started to deter me from the composite was I was reading a few articles and it was talking about the way you build the base is different with composite versus the top because of the material that it is. In a lot of cases will need additional support. But then as you continue to read those articles, it says you have to do 16 inches on center to support, but even the wood ones said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the place where I saw the difference was if you're putting the composite boards at a 45 degree across the joists,
Mm-hmm.
then
You
it's
need to be
recommended
closer.
12 inches.
Yeah, yeah, because they're spanning a larger gap at that.
Yeah.
How high is your back door, the bottom of your door? How high is it from the ground?
I want to say it's like 25 inches. I think I just measured it.
So I guess it would probably look weird if you just did like a pad back there, a concrete pad,
Well, that's what I wanted to do.
or a nice patio.
That's what I wanted to do. I was telling Nicole, I'm like, why don't we just rip everything out? We have them come in here and we have them pour a big concrete pad like we did at the old house, because I loved the concrete pad at the old house.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? That's zero damn maintenance.
Yep.
But then we have a fairly significant drop coming out. But then I was telling her, I'm like, if that's the case,
You
then
build a slide out
we
the
build
back
a
door.
slide. Exactly. No, we build a large porch style step. So not just like a staircase down, because we're talking 2-3 steps at the most.
Yeah.
On top of the pad up to the door. We just make one large one, and then the one underneath it is a little bit larger. And for that,
like
we
a
use the
landing
composite
almost.
material. Yes.
Yeah. Or you could build like I don't want to say a miniature deck, but a small deck that goes out and then out to the left. Make it big enough that you could put like a chair or something out there, and then it goes down. That way, it's a little bit safer coming in and out of the door, as opposed to just having a landing and then going down.
What we're thinking about doing is, it would still be the same thing. It's like, think like 2 large rectangles, but one is slightly smaller and sits on top of the one that's on top of the concrete. So you're not walking out and immediately hitting stairs. You're walking out into a flat area, and then you could step off any direction you wanted.
Yeah.
But I think that would look nice. The thing that is deterring Nicole from that is that she likes the deck, and she also likes the look of, like, if we were to get like a light wood, and that's where the composite comes into play, is that we can pick the color we want, as opposed to if you get the pressure treated stuff, you got to wait for it to dry, and then you have to, stain and seal it the color that you want, and then that is going to fade, and we're not going to get the color that she wants from staining and sealing.
Yeah.
But the benefit to doing the concrete pad at my house is that right now on our deck, we can see over our fence, and we can see all the neighbors. If it was even a little bit lower, that would cut down on that quite a bit. So we'd have a little bit more privacy.
Or, I mean, granted, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I'm trying to think of my house where you could, or at least I could, and I'm considering this because, again, I don't want to have to run into replacing the deck, and both wood and composite are going to get hot as hell. And I mean, I had a wood deck before, and it got really hot, especially like August. That's like our hottest month. Is to build a retaining wall around and fill it a little bit with dirt, and then put a concrete pad out, so that way I'm walking out directly on the concrete. But I would have to hire someone to do that. I can't do that myself.
You can do anything you put your mind to, Ben.
That's true. I could, even if the lawman says I can't.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I would try to do, and not just put a pad. Like, I would try to, have decorative accents and stuff like that built into it. But that's one of the things that I'm considering. So again, so I don't have to worry about replacing boards. I don't have to worry about it getting terribly hot, because if it's white concrete, it's not going to get as hot as composite does and all that other stuff. But
I'll tell you, you saw the concrete pad at the last house. I could walk on that thing barefoot any time of the year. It was never an issue.
Yeah.
I was with Sedge the other day. This past weekend, we were up at his place, and I was telling him about, building the deck, rebuilding the deck, or putting down concrete. And he was like, a buddy of mine used to tell me there's 2 types of concrete: the type that's cracked, or the one that's gonna crack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, True. And then what do
Yeah.
you do? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Crack filler. I you know I guess it doesn't really matter which one you. There's going to be advantages and disadvantages to either one that you do, and you've got to try to pick the one that's gonna that you're willing. You have to pick the one that you're willing to deal with. I guess.
Yeah.
Right. But
So another thing that I have been thinking about is we know we want to get rid of all the railing and the
mhm.
little pergola thing that's out there. I can cut all those off now. It'll be a violation of code at that point because there's no
Yeah,
railing on it.
yeah.
But I mean, who cares, right?
I mean, it's just my child's safety. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
he'll be fine. He'll probably just jump off it. Um, so doing that, we know we're going to get rid of that, right? And then I was thinking, well, because you brought up a good point, like the base structure could be fine. The other thing is too is that if they're sitting on footings, which that's I don't know, and I'm pretty sure that they're not. I'm pretty sure that they dug them into the ground because I'm able to see one of the posts for the pergola thing, and that is I can see the concrete coming out of the ground where the post is going in the ground. So, did they dig it deep enough below the frost line? And so if that's the case, I can't just replace the
The top,
vertical
yeah,
beams
yeah.
if they're rotted out. Now, if they're on, if they're sitting on top of those um, cement pilings or posts, and they're using like the Simpson strong tie brackets or whatever, I could replace those if they need to be replaced or reinforce where needed. And now everything's already built to the height that I want. And I'm basically just replacing everything on top, getting rid of all the ugly painted stuff. And then it would be fine. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because
Can
if
you
it's
not? Can you not get underneath and inspect it to see if it is?
I probably could, but I would have to cut a
But there's
hole,
scary
an
spiders
access
down there.
hole. Oh, there probably is. That's one thing I'm actually terrified of. Like ripping that thing apart. I watched a video the other day. It was a reel, and they were replacing a deck, and they like lifted up this corner, and there was a freaking like wasp nest or beehive or something. And I'm telling you,
Jeez.
it was like this big. It was huge, and I'm like, nope. And I was talking to my sergeant major about it, and I was like, yeah, I don't know what's underneath. There's probably going to be something. Like, he goes, oh, there'll probably be something under there for sure, but you'll be fine. Just keep all your bug spray close by.
Yeah. When I had to rip mine out, there were all kinds of spiders that came out of it. A lot of black
Really?
widows, and oh yeah. But there was also I had like a lot of vegetation that was kind of on the perimeter of the porch and stuff, so it was good nesting grounds. So
I'd probably start ripping off the top and then just actually, you know what I would probably do before I did
just
it?
set it on fire.
Yes. No, I'd go get a couple of those like extermination, like bombs or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would cut a hole in the side and to access it. And I would take those things and I would throw them in there.
Yeah.
And I would just fumigate the crap out of that area under there. No joke. 100%. See all the fumes just coming up through the cracks in the wood. I'd be like, honey, go inside.
Take the children, go.
Yeah. I'm doing it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's definitely decking season. I still I'll probably wait until the winter, well, maybe not the winter, but I need to build the deck. I need to get the outside of the house in order. I still have like dirt in my driveway. So I think I told you how that oak tree fell in my backyard and was covering up like half my driveway. Well, they finally came and cleared it out 2 weeks ago, I think it was. So now I can resume my the French drain project. It's done. I just need to get rid of the dirt and put sod down, and then it's done.
Yeah.
But now I need to do the deck because it definitely needs to happen.
Is yours an elevated one?
What, the deck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. It's about a 1.5 foot drop, I guess, from
How
the
big
bottom
is
of
it?
my back door. How big was the old one?
How big is, yeah.
It was kind of it was like what you would call it. It was probably 24 by 16, maybe a little bit longer.
I would say that's about the size of our lower level. Yeah, it's probably pretty close to that as well. And then the
Now,
upper level's probably 7 feet wide by 16, 17 feet deep.
I was thinking that if you are wondering, if you tear down the deck but you rebuild it exactly the same, do you even have to worry about getting another permit, because you're literally just rebuilding the same thing?
Um,
And
technically, yes.
apart from aging, no one would really know the difference, right?
Yeah, but I feel like the right answer would be yes, because the people that did it before may have never done a permit. That's the
Yeah.
weird thing. It's like, why? I I don't know. Apparently, I was supposed to have a permit to do my fence too. I found that out as I was doing research, and I'm like, why would I need a permit from the city to do my fence in my subdivision? But the HOA didn't question it. It just said, make sure you get all permits required. And I'm like, there's no permit required for me to get a fence. Oh, it turns out there is. There sure is. But I mean, I'd probably just go through the process. It's exactly the same process as going through our HOA. Like, I looked at the form. I'm pretty sure our HOA just took the permit form and like made it their own.
Put their
I mean, our HOA is a joke. We basically don't even have an HOA, but which is good. But I don't know. I just don't think we'll build it the same. If anything, we want to make it bigger.
Really?
Yeah. Because when you go out in our backyard, everything to the right of it is like this weird, like sitting area with a fence around it, a white PVC fence around it that there was a little pond in there, had a fountain. It's like, was this your like tranquil area that you like came out here and meditated or something?
It's my Zen space. Okay. I need to.
Yeah, it was. We want to rip all of it out, but we could extend the deck even further over. And that's where I want to build like an outdoor kitchen and everything. So that actually might be the side that we actually do a concrete pad. So we'll have a concrete pad or elevated deck. So we'd have all kinds of different areas. We just love being outside. So
Yeah,
that's the thing. But
yeah.
All right, we've rambled on about that enough. I'm sure people are listening to this that actually have experience building decks, and they're like, "You're an idiot. What? I wish I lived closer. I'd come help you." Yeah, if anybody lives in Virginia and wants to go help Ben do his, and if anybody lives in Indiana and has experience and you want to come out and help me do all this, please, I would love to have you. I'll give you all the beer and wings that you want, or whatever food of your choice. But anyway.
All right. Do you have anything for Get Bent?
Pope Catholic.
All right, everyone, it's time for your favorite segments. It's been so long since we've done this, Jason. I kind of don't even remember how to do it. I'm just kidding. It's me. You know how to do this. All right, everybody, time to get bent.
Okay.
I've got mine pulled up if you want me to go ahead and do it.
You please go first, because I haven't answered comments in a while, so I got to find a couple.
So this one, it kind of started off as a get bent comment, but he kind of came back and corrected himself. So this is on my 6 safe options to haul wood when all you own is a car, which is, it's starting to become one of my best performing videos, or popular. It's been really popular lately. Anyways, I don't ever plan to bring all that equipment with me in my vehicle. In my mind, a cordless circular saw and a rafter square should do the trick. Otherwise, great safety tips. And so I said, a rafter square for ripping a full sheet of plywood? He's like, oh, okay, you're right. Right now I'm building a fence, and I was thinking about cutting 2x6s, not plywood.
I like how you said plywood.
Yeah.
Plywood.
So he came back and redeemed himself, or herself. Looks like a guy, though.
I love that voice that you do. All right. My first one is from the Harvey G700 gyro air dust processor 6 months later. Another site review without showing it run or see how well it performs at some cutting station. Listening to someone talk about their fast race car is not the same as seeing it go fast. Get it?
Wait, wait, do that one again?
The whole thing.
Or like what where did he get a race car from?
He says, he's saying listening to somebody talk about their fast race car is not the same as seeing it go fast. Get it?
So in the video you were talking about something as opposed to showing it?
Yeah, it was just my overall thoughts after having the machine for 6 months. And he said,
How else could you like what could you show? Like you like turning it on and being like
what he wanted is I'm assuming what he wanted is he was expecting me to make some cuts to see how much dust was left over to show how good of a job it did. Some people. Oh, here's a good one.
it's pretty dumb.
Installing full extension drawer slides. How many times are you going to go ahead? God, it's annoying.
We should take a whole bunch of your videos where you say that, but just make it like a YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
But,
go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
Put like some little music going behind a little techno dance.
Yeah,
Do,
go
do,
ahead.
Do.
Yeah. Make
Go
it
go
auto-tune.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead now.
This.
Yep. I notice all those things and I'm like, I need to stop doing that. So is another one that I do a lot. So.
All right, go
all
ahead.
the time.
Jason, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Go. Oh, this is funny. Castle is currently, this isn't like a negative comment, I guess. I just find it funny. Castle is currently sold out of their pocket holes. Oh, never mind. I thought it was their pocket hole machine. I thought is what it said. Have you found a good alternative? I'm like, yeah, it's in the video.
Clearly, you didn't watch it all the way through.
He said, screw. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, now I'm down to the ones I read last time, talking about the domino being an absurd tool.
You're absurd, sir. My good man.
Absurd.
All right, well, hey, look, check it out, everybody. If you want to be a part of our podcast community and you want to get all of our podcasts ad-free and early, you can do that by going to www.patreon.com/GreenSeedersPodcast and become one of our patrons. Every month, we do a patron group call, and this is all of our patrons said that's literally the only reason why they're patrons is to do the group call with us every month.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys.
We discovered that like back in January, February.
Yeah, I know.
But no, we do that every month, and every month the number of people that participate gets bigger, and it's always a fun time. It's essentially an opportunity for all of us to publicly and live make fun of Jason. It's pretty much.
I thought you were going to say Patrick. Publicly and violently make fun of Patrick.
But you can get access to that. You can find out more. Again, go to Patreon.com/GreenSeedersPodcast to find out how. Jason, thank you for coming back to be our special guest on the podcast.
Sorry, I was doing army training last time.
Voluntarily, I might add.
And it was fantastic. Let me tell you. I would like to say
P-Town really left an impression on you. Huh?
Yes, it did. I would like to say something because I had quite a few people message me after the episode where I was talking about I need to stop drinking so much. When I was saying, I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic. I just always want beer. I have last week, I didn't drink it all during the week, only on the weekend. And this week, same thing. And this week, I finally started getting back on the Peloton.
All right.
So it's time.
Time to get it back in gear.
And all I want right now is a beer. Like really bad. You know what? I'm going to go to the bar. No, I'm just kidding.
I got to go, guys.
I got to go, guys.
Okay.
I need something.
My hands are starting to shake really bad.
Yeah. Is this normal? The shakes?
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
If you want to find out more about us, you can look
Yeah,
in
you
the
know
show
where to
notes.
go by now.
Go in the show notes. All right, everybody. Thanks for giving us your time. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.